Copy. I've been working on these things for years.
Please be seated. Mr. President, seated before you are trustees, faculty, alumni, candidates for degrees, and honored guests of the university assembled for the annual commencement in Columbia's 247th academic year. With your permission, Mr. President, the exercises will now begin. Please stand for the national anthem. Please be seated. The opening words will now be pronounced by Janelle Davis, University Chaplain.
This is a joyous time. Aspirations have been achieved, goals have been accomplished, dreams have been realized, hopes have been fulfilled. Let us remember that learning is a lifetime commitment. We must continue to keep our minds and our spirits open to new experiences, new knowledge, new responsibilities, and new dreams. Hear these words of challenge from educator W.E.B. Du Bois as our opening words. Give us grace to realize that education is not simply doing the things that we like, studying the tasks that appeal to us, or wandering in the world of thought, whither and where we will. In a universe where good is hidden underneath evil and pleasure lurks in pain, we must work if we would learn and know. It is the unpleasant task, the hard lesson, the bitter experience that often leads to knowledge and power and good. May it be so with God's help. Graduates, may your dreams chart your journey, your visions guide your days, your imagination give you courage, and your hopes keep you safe. Stay close to Columbia. Return to Columbia often to challenge your mind and to nurture your spirit. Congratulations, Godspeed.
For the Lord Most High is
Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the University.
Congratulations to each one of you who are members of the outstanding class of 2001. Now, please share your victory and raise a grateful cheer for those who have helped to make this day happen, your loyal friends and loving families. And your teachers, the great Columbia faculty. Today we celebrate those who graduate in the 21st century from an institution that extends back to the 18th century, the historic core of Columbia University, Columbia College. We congratulate as well the graduating seniors from our nation's most selective women's college, now 11 years. It seems too bad to have your cheering drown out the name of your college, but that was Barnard. We applaud as they go to meet the challenge of the future, the talented graduates of our Food Foundation School of Engineering and Applied Science. We salute the bright, hardworking, diverse graduates of America's best liberal arts college for adults, our School of General Studies. And let us praise on this day the scholars and scientists who have now earned their richly deserved degrees from our Graduate School of Arts and Sciences. We praise as well the dedicated, humane, knowledgeable graduates of the oldest accredited school in its field, the Columbia School of Social Work. As we gather this morning in one of the world's great urban spaces, we send forth those who will build, plan, and preserve the best, the graduates of our acclaimed School of Architecture, Planning, and Preservation. In all of those missions, they will need from time to time the advice and counsel of those who will help us seek justice, our colleagues who commence today from the illustrious School of Law. We look to you to protect the rights of all of us, including the rights of those who create the art that enriches us all, the gifted graduates of the Columbia School of the Arts. As our society ponders the deeds of troubled children, we know that many of tomorrow's children will be luckier, those who will be taught by the graduates of America's leading teachers' college. We need that enthusiasm in our schools. We look forward to more perspective and greater depth from those who provoke and inform us, the graduates of the eminent Columbia School of Journalism. Hail the extraordinary... Enough already. It's amazing, the media already have a megaphone, we don't have to overdo it. Hail the extraordinary men and women who will care for our health, the graduates of our College of Physicians and Surgeons. our School of Dental and Oral Surgery, our School of Nursing, and the Mailman School of Public Health. And we salute you who embody so well Columbia's urban and international identity, the graduates of a renowned School of International and Public Affairs. More and more, a multinational perspective also challenges the eager graduates of our distinguished Graduate School of Business. Thinking in global terms, thank you very much for your self-congratulation. Thinking in global terms has infused the work of a remarkable group of 9 new classmates. In a little while, we shall honor them individually with the University Medal of Excellence and the Columbia degree honoris causa. Please welcome the honorary members of the class of 2001. I know that you're in a mood to celebrate. You've demonstrated that amply already, and rightly so. But I ask you to stretch your minds, imagination, sensibilities one more time as a kind of final exercise before you are awarded your degrees. I invite each of you to picture yourself in a series of larger and larger concentric circles as a way of representing your participation in increasingly inclusive communities. You are at the center of this series, in effect, the smallest circle. There are those who concentrate almost all of their attention on this central point. In your studies here, you have learned about the enormous power of individualism as it is developed in the West. I cannot resist reading the names that crown Butler Library: Homer, Herodotus, Sophocles, Plato, Aristotle, Demosthenes, Cicero, Virgil. You have studied the great thinkers of the Western tradition who have shaped our sense of individualism. But you have also learned to question the brand of unbridled individualism that focuses on the self as separate from the various communities in which we participate. So consider the first circle beyond the individual, the communities with which you identify most closely. Here is a sampling: a partner, your family, a village or a town that you call home, an ethnic group that you embrace as your own, a religious or secular tradition that you affirm even if you also quarrel with it. Such communities are crucial for defining the identity that each of us appropriates, makes our own in the course of our lives. But we also know that none of those particular communities stands alone. In this place so wonderfully rich in diversity, we have a tremendous opportunity to learn from each other. Happily, many of you have made the most of that opportunity, which means that you will never be able even to think of yourself as completely separate from other communities around you. This temptation to think of ourselves as separate from other communities also confronts Columbia as a community. Many of you have participated in assuring that we do not succumb to this temptation. You have volunteered in programs that work with the schools, clinics, and other community organizations in the neighborhoods that surround the campus. You have completed internships, field placements, or community-based courses in our city. You have conducted research, offered professional services, or provided clinical care to our neighbors. You have, in short, contributed to the vital connections between Columbia and New York City. Still, the lessons learned here are only the beginning of what will be a lifelong need to resist the allure of such separatism. Many of you come from privileged families. All of you now have the benefit of an elite education. As a result, most of you will become, or already are, members of the most socioeconomically advanced strata of this and other societies. Believe me, you will. Among the most troubling trends in this country is the increasing elective isolation of the most affluent of our citizens. In the face of inadequate investments in public goods and services, the well-to-do retreat into private clubs and gated communities. So as you commence from this place to the opportunities of leadership ahead of you, remember one of the lessons you have learned here. We enrich our lives through our experience of multiple traditions, and we impoverish ourselves if we attempt to retreat behind closed gates. Beyond our immediate communities, family, hometown, or neighborhood, ethnic group, religious tradition, campus, gated community are larger circles. A big cluster comprises our various nations. And the one that is most in danger of thinking of itself as self-subsistent, as enclosed in a circle that has the capacity to be self-contained, is the country that prides itself on being the only remaining superpower. But today, even a country that dominates a large continent cannot be complete in itself. The United States is in the end connected not only to the Americas and Europe, but also to Asia and Africa. We are involved whether or not we have a national interest narrowly conceived. The Balkans are not only a concern of Europe. Relations across the divided Korean peninsula affect us whether or not we have an anti-ballistic missile system. In the long run, we are not isolated and insulated from the HIV pandemic or civil war or famine in Africa. Nor can we unilaterally declare global warming to be an issue that can safely be allowed to heat up on the back burner. The relations of the United States with the People's Republic of China offers an arresting instance of the imperative that our impulses move beyond our nationalisms. Both the US and the PRC are conspicuous in their imperial pretensions. The US in the recent past and in the present, the PRC in its historic identity and its future expectations. Yet neither preemptive unilateralism nor insistence on humiliation is a viable approach to interaction in a world that has moved beyond the self-contained circles of nationalism. This most international of American universities has prepared you to exercise global responsibility. You who graduate with bachelor's degrees have engaged the core traditions that have shaped Western ideas and institutions, but you've also learned about other major cultures. And you who have earned graduate and professional degrees are ready to enter a world in which you will think and act constantly across national boundaries. We therefore look to you to provide leadership for all of us as we move beyond the provincialisms of the past. Even if we recognize the need to move beyond our nationalisms, the circumference of the next concentric circle is less than sharply defined. The global reach of transportation and communication systems and the economic power of multinational corporations indicate that worldwide networks are more than simply nice ideas. At the same time, the allegiance that the more than national, or even the universally human commands, is still weaker than our more particular loyalties, as is evident in the very limited authority granted to institutions of international governance, and also maybe even more in the deeply felt resentment of the power of transnational organization. The ideal of the human race, humankind, humanity as a whole has fascinated visionaries for millennia. It is often shrouded in the mist of wishes, or the fog of ideologies, or the mystery of religious symbolism. But this ideal of the human as such may still provide leverage against our provincialisms. It may, to use one extended example that could illustrate many more, it may undergird efforts to press the United States to do closer to our fair share of the investments in agriculture, basic health care, and education, especially of girls and women, that are crucial for sustainable development worldwide. This is a set of issues in which the self-deception of Americans is staggering. Polls consistently show that most of us think we as a nation are more generous than other governments in providing economic aid to developing countries. In fact, of the 25 developed economies, we rank dead last in the percentage of our gross domestic product devoted to assistance, about 1/10%. To bring that dry statistic to life, think in terms of a $10 bill. Of that $10, the most generous of the developed countries, Denmark, gives a dime for development assistance, while we contribute a penny out of $10. That is a disgrace. It's a disgrace, especially in view of our own past performance. In the late 1940s, at the height of the Marshall Plan, the fraction of the federal budget committed to foreign assistance was over 18%, an astonishingly large proportion, which no doubt underlies our national self-perception of American generosity. By the early 1960s, this percentage had dropped from 18% to 3%. And today, the figure is 0.6%, 1/5 of the level in the early 60s, and a 30-fold decline since 1948. We as a nation can surely do better than that, if in our affirmation of national citizenship, we also identify with a larger circle, a community that is not confined to a single country. Yet even if the ideal of the human as such provides some leverage against the provincialisms of tribe and nation, it also points towards still more inclusive communities. For too many centuries, in too many traditions, we have celebrated the human as above the natural. We now know that here too our connections with the larger world are crucial, and that our ignorance of those connections threatens the viability of the Earth as an ecosystem. We must therefore move beyond not only individualism and communalism and nationalism, but also beyond humanism and even humanitarianism. In this way, each circle points beyond itself and cannot be self-contained. Not the individual, not our closest communities, not our nations, not even humanity as a whole. This recognition shapes both our ideas and our actions. So I invite you to participate vigorously in the communities that elicit your belonging, to exercise your citizenship and provide leadership in this country and in the nations around the world that you call home, to work together for the ideal of humanity so that it may become the reality we hope for, we anticipate, we ever so imperfectly embody. But be aware as well that in all of your activity, you are part of a larger whole in which we live and move and have our being, which we may venture to trust and which calls for our allegiance. As you commence from this university, stretch your minds, your imaginations, your sensibilities towards some such larger loyalty and more encompassing commitment. In the confidence that you will continue to participate in increasingly inclusive communities, I wish each one of you all the best for all of our sake. Thank you very much.
The Provost of the University, Jonathan R. Cole, will now present the candidates for the degrees in honoris causa.
Mr. President, I have the honor to present the University Medal for Excellence to Neil deGrasse Tyson, astrophysicist and educator.
Neil deGrasse Tyson, son of our city where the stars can rarely be seen, you have made them shine for thousands of visitors to the new Rose Center for Earth and Space. Your doctoral studies at Columbia and further research in astrophysics at Princeton led you to the directorship of the Hayden Planetarium, where you dreamed of turning that slightly musty highlight of every New York school child's education into one of the world's greatest venues for exploring and explaining the universe. Under your inspired leadership, the new Rose Center is a dream come true. Columbia takes great pride in conferring upon you the University Medal for Excellence.
Mr. President, I have the honor to present Peter Robert Lamont Brown, historian and biographer, for the degree Doctor of Letters honoris causa.
Peter Robert Lamont Brown, born in Dublin, educated at Oxford, a superb teacher in England at Berkeley, and for the past 15 years at Princeton, you have created with remarkable erudition and prose of extraordinary beauty the scholarly field of ancient antiquity, of late antiquity. Your majestic biography of Augustine of Hippo is but one of your 11 masterful books that have influenced a generation of historians and inspired enthusiasm beyond the Academy for the reading and writing of history. That influence is equally apparent in the classroom, where this past year at Princeton you earned the President's Award for Distinguished Teaching. Columbia is pleased to recognize your achievements in scholarship and devotion to teaching with the degree of Doctor of Letters honoris causa.
Mr. President, I have the honor to present Timothy Berners-Lee, inventor of the web, for the degree Doctor of Laws honoris causa.
Timothy Berners-Lee. Less than a dozen years ago, you developed an insight that has changed the world. As with Gutenberg, Edison, and Bell, Your invention has profoundly transformed the nature of communication, education, commerce, and daily interaction among millions of people and institutions. Beginning with a tool designed for the specialized needs of physicists, your work has led to a global network that allows the sharing of ideas and information with ease and dispatch. Today, as cameras make this ceremony available to people across the planet via your invention, the World Wide Web, Columbia honors the brilliance of your far-sighted innovation with a degree of Doctor of Laws, honoris causa.
Mr. President, I have the honor to present Judith Smith Kay, Chief Judge for the degree Doctor of Laws, honoris causa.
Judith Smith Kay, daughter of Barnard College, the first woman to serve on New York State's highest court, the first woman to occupy the state judiciary's highest office, Chief Judge of the New York State Court of Appeals. You have shown that justice can be administered with both compassion and efficiency. The vision and energy you bring to the reform of our state's court system have won for you recognition as one of America's finest judicial leaders. For your many contributions as trial lawyer, as chief judge, and as Barnard trustee, Columbia is honored to present you with the degree Doctor of Laws, honoris causa.
Mr. President, I have the honor to present Arthur Levitt, Jr., public servant, for the degree Doctor of Laws, honoris causa.
Arthur Levitt, Jr. Integrity is embedded in your genes, but it is by dint of your own strength, wisdom, and courage that you stand here today where once your father stood. As the longest-serving chairman of the Securities and Exchange Commission, you brought about major reforms in the structure and regulation of financial markets, including new accounting standards and prompt disclosure in plain English. In grateful appreciation of your service, Columbia greets you today with a degree Doctor of Laws, honoris causa.
Mr. President, I have the honor to present George P. Schultz, statesman, for the degree Doctor of Laws, honoris causa.
George P. Schultz. We hail you today as a native New Yorker and proud son of a father who earned his PhD here at Columbia. You have served for nearly a half-century in education and government, on the MIT faculty as Dean of the University of Chicago Business School, as professor and distinguished fellow at Stanford University and its Hoover Institution, and in 4 presidential cabinet posts. Your academic achievements built the intellectual foundation for your work as the first director of the Office of Management and Budget, Secretary of Labor, Secretary of the Treasury, and Secretary of State. Columbia is pleased to recognize your exceptional leadership and uncommon devotion to public service with a degree of Doctor of Laws, honoris causa.
Mr. President, I have the honor to present Maxwell L. Roach, percussionist and composer, for the degree Doctor of Music, honoris causa.
Maxwell L. Roach, master percussionist, innovative composer, musical revolutionary. Today you join the immortal Columbia honorees, Edward Kennedy Ellington, with whom you began your professional career, and John Burks Gillespie, with whom you and Charlie Parker launched a new era in music. As professor of music for more than 20 years at the University of Massachusetts in Amherst, you helped ensure that jazz will continue to evolve and be treasured and performed by new generations. For your achievements as a musician and teacher of powerful intellect, Columbia proudly awards you the degree of Doctor of Music, honoris causa.
Mr. President, I have the honor to present Isidore S. Edelman, biochemist and genomicist, for the degree Doctor of Science, honoris causa.
Isidore S. Edelman, during your quarter century on the faculty of the University of California, San Francisco, you discovered the key to the intracellular salt balance that is critical to sustaining life. Then, guided by lofty goals, scientific prescience, and enormous energy, you rebuilt Columbia's Department of Biochemistry and Molecular Biophysics into one of the world's great research centers. Later, as Professor Emeritus, you founded the Columbia Genome Center, foreseeing the impact on biology and medicine of the sequencing of the human genome. With our university now poised to meet the challenges of the genomic era, we gratefully bestow upon you the degree of Doctor of Science, honoris causa.
Mr. President, I have the honor to present Zhenyi Wang, medical pioneer, for the degree Doctor of Science, honoris causa.
Zhenyi Wang. During your past 4 decades at Shanghai Second Medical University, you have distinguished yourself as president, dean, teacher, and discoverer of a major cure for a deadly form of leukemia, one of the most important developments in all of cancer research. Your work not only pointed to a singular treatment for a specific disease, it has given renewed hope to the proposal that a single agent may be able to eliminate the cancerous state. For the superb work that you have done and continue to do, Columbia is proud to confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Science, honoris causa.
The president of the university will now present the teaching awards.
This will end. But I now have the privilege of presenting 5 further honors through which we recognize faculty colleagues for their outstanding contributions as teachers. Nominations are solicited and received from students, fellow faculty, and alumni. The faculty committee makes the final selection. I ask that each awardee stand as I call your name so we may acknowledge this great contribution to our common life as an educational institution. Joseph Connors. An expert on architectural history, brilliant lecturer and devoted mentor, you inspire students from every discipline to see the buildings we inhabit with new eyes. John Donaldson. You play a central role in shaping the curriculum of the Graduate School of Business and in educating countless students in the complexities of economics and finance. Thank you. David Helfand. Your excellence as a scientist is matched by your passionate commitment to conveying your knowledge of love of science, and astronomy in particular, to students of all ages. Stephen Miller. You educate physicians, including all of our graduating physicians, to be both competent and humane, helping to shape the medical curriculum in ways that prepare students to treat their patients with both skill and care. Thank you. And finally, Carol Sanger. From contracts to family law, you bring new approaches, analytical rigor, and sensitivity to the teaching of some of the most controversial subjects in law.
The Provost of the University will now present the administrative officers of the various divisions of the University, who will in turn introduce candidates for the degrees in course in their respective groups. Those candidates will be expected to rise as they are being introduced until the conferring of degrees is completed.
Mr. President, it's my pleasure to introduce Austin E. Quigley, Dean of Columbia College.
Mr. President, before you stands the Columbia College class of 2001. The extraordinarily talented candidates of the faculty of Columbia's original college of 1754. Who, after years of unflagging effort and unceasing valor, have completed the daunting and almost impossible requirements prescribed by that faculty for the degree of Bachelor of Arts. I request you, sir, to grant these amazing young people this degree, along with the rights, privileges, and responsibilities thereby entailed.
Next, Mr. President, I have the pleasure of introducing Zvi Galil, the Dean of the Faculty of the Fu Foundation School of Engineering and Applied Science.
Mr. President, Before you stand the unclonable and NASDAQ-proof candidates of the faculty of the Fu Foundation School of Engineering and Applied Science, who have completed the requirements prescribed by that faculty for the degree of Bachelor of Science, Master of Science, Professional Engineering degree, and Doctor of Engineering Science. And in addition, more than 70% of them gave to the class gift. I beg you, sir, please, to grant them these degrees along with the rights, privileges, and responsibilities thereto attached.
I am pleased, Mr. President, to introduce Judith R. Shapiro, President of Barnard College.
President Ruff. President Rupp, as I was saying, before you stands the vociferous and splendiferous Barnard class of 2001, poised to burst upon the new millennium like a rocket. They have completed the requirements prescribed by the faculty of Barnard College for the degree of Bachelor of Arts, and I therefore respectfully request that you grant them this degree, together with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities thereto pertaining.
It is my pleasure, Mr. President, to next introduce Peter J. Orn, Dean of the Faculty of General Studies.
Mr. President, before you stand the urbane, erudite, and deeply indebted candidates of the faculty of the School of General Studies, whose love of learning embodies Plato's dictum, if someone loves something, then he must love not just one part of it, but all of it. These distinguished women and men have completed the requirements prescribed by their faculty for the degrees of Bachelor of Arts and Bachelor of Science. I beg you, sir, to grant them these degrees along with the rights and privileges thereof.
Next, Mr. President, it's my pleasure to introduce Bruce W. Ferguson, Dean of the Faculty of the Arts.
Mr. President, to your left, perhaps appropriately, stand the candidates of the faculty of the School of the Arts, filmmakers, theater artists, visual artists, and writers who will delight, elevate, terrify, enliven, amuse, confound, and astonish us in the near future, and who have, thankfully, completed the requirements prescribed by that faculty for the degree of Master of Fine Arts. I beg and beseech you, sir, to grant them these degrees along with the rights and privileges thereto attached.
I am pleased, Mr. President, to introduce Lisa Anderson, Dean of the Faculty of International and Public Affairs.
Mr. President, before you stand the candidates of the Faculty of International and Public Affairs. These men and women are dedicated to making their community and their world more just, more secure, more peaceful, and more prosperous. They have completed the requirements prescribed by that faculty for the degrees of Master of Public Administration and Master of International Affairs. I ask that you grant them these degrees along with the rights, privileges, and responsibilities thereto attached.
Mr. President, it's now my pleasure to introduce Ronald A. Feldman, Dean of the Faculty of Social Work.
Mr. President, even further to the left, more appropriately, stand the candidates of the Faculty of Social Work. These distinguished candidates have completed the requirements prescribed by that faculty for the degrees of Master of Science in Social Work and Doctor of Social Welfare. Unlimited in their talent and united in their commitment, they will be builders of better communities, of better families, and even of better buildings, not only at Columbia, but throughout our nation and throughout the world. Therefore, sir, I ask you to grant to them these degrees along with the rights and privileges thereunto attached.
And next, Mr. President, it's my pleasure to introduce Alan J. Formicola, Dean of the Faculty of Dental and Oral Surgery.
Mr. President, on the occasion of presenting my 23rd and last class of graduates from the School of Dental and Oral Surgery, I am pleased to announce that they are dental practitioners committed to the community, scientifically minded, and of course, painless in the delivery of care. They have completed the requirements for the degrees Master of Science and Doctor of Dental Surgery, and I ask you, sir, to grant to them these degrees along with the rights and privileges thereto attached.
Alan Formicola is the Dean of Deans at Columbia. As he indicated, this is his 23rd class that he's presenting. I think we should have a special round of applause for Alan for all those contributions.
It is my pleasure, Mr. President, to introduce Mayor Fehlberg, Dean of the Faculty of Business.
Mr. President, before you stand the candidates for the faculty of the Graduate School of Business. These quintessential business school graduates have completed the requirements for the degree of Master of Business Administration. I request you, sir, to grant them the degree along with the rights and privileges thereto attached.
Now, Mr. President, I'm pleased to introduce Thomas J. Goldstein, Dean of the Faculty of Journalism.
Mr. President, standing before you are the ever enthusiastic and caring the idealistic and tough-minded, the fun-loving and hard-working, the fearless and very independent seekers of truth, candidates of the Faculty of Journalism. They have completed the requirements prescribed by our faculty for the degree of Master of Science. I ask you respectfully, sir, to grant them this degree, along with the rights and privileges thereto attached.
I am pleased, Mr. President, to introduce Arthur Levine, President of Teachers College.
Mr. President, before you stand the candidates of the Faculty of Teachers College, whose quiet dignity and innate modesty would be offended were I to use a string of overblown adjectives to describe their superlative qualities. Suffice it to say, these idealistic, exceptionally talented, socially committed graduates who have willingly sacrificed membership in society's highest income strata in order to do good, have completed the requirements prescribed by the faculty for the degrees of Master of Arts, Master of Education, Master of Science, and Doctor of Education. I would be very grateful if you were to grant them these degrees, because they're desperately needed around the globe, and they have large loans to repay.
Next, Mr. President, I'm pleased to introduce Bernard Tschumi, Dean of the Faculty of Architecture, Planning, and Preservation.
Mr. President, before you stand the unparalleled, unequal, and absolutely unique candidates of the Faculty of Architecture, Planning, and Preservation, who have completed the requirements prescribed by that faculty for the degrees of Master of Architecture and Master of Science in Planning, in Preservation, in Urban Design, in Advanced Architectural Design, and in Real Estate Development. I beg you, sir, to grant them these well-deserved degrees along with the rights and privileges thereto attached.
It's my pleasure, Mr. President, to introduce David W. Lebron, Dean of the Faculty of Law.
Mr. President, before you stand the brilliant, diverse, socially committed, and enthusiastic candidates of the Faculty of Law who have completed the requirements prescribed by our faculty for the degrees of Juris Doctor, Master of Laws, and Doctor of Science of Law. I ask you, sir, to grant them these degrees, along with the rights and privileges attached thereto, so that these great men and women may go forth and contribute in myriad ways to justice and to our best aspirations for our world, and indeed protect all the rights and privileges that you are conferring on Columbia students today.
Now, Mr. President, I'm pleased to introduce Gerald D. Fischbach, Vice President for Health and Biomedical Sciences and Dean of the Faculty of Medicine, College of Physicians and Surgeons, who will administer the Hippocratic Oath.
Mr. President, now in my first months at Columbia, I am awestruck by this crystalline demonstration of Columbia's greatness. And I am proud and glad to present the candidates for the degrees from the Faculty of Medicine to you, and I ask them to rise. These are the dedicated, brilliant, energetic, creative, and caring students who have completed the requirements prescribed by the Faculty of Medicine. For the degrees of Master of Science in Clinical Microbiology, Master of Science in Human Nutrition, Master of Science in Occupational Therapy, Master of Science in Physical Therapy, and Doctor of Medicine. We respectfully request, sir, that you grant these individuals the degrees along with the rights and privileges thereto attached. Mr. President, with your permission, I would like to administer the oath of Hippocrates to the candidates for the Doctor of Medicine degree. This custom was established more than 2,000 years ago, that no one may be admitted to the profession of medicine without first expressly undertaking its obligations. Now, therefore, we call upon you to take, as we have taken before you, the oath that bears the name of Hippocrates. The language in which our predecessors first took the oath is no longer spoken, and the gods they called to witness are no longer mentioned. But still the ancient words are noble, and the themes endure. Do you solemnly swear, by whatever each of you holds most sacred, that you will be loyal to the profession of medicine and just and generous to its members, that you will lead lives and practice your art in uprightness and honor, that into whatsoever house you shall enter, it shall be for the good of the sick, to the utmost of your power, holding yourselves far aloof from wrong, from corruption, from the tempting of others to vice, that you will exercise your art solely for the cure of your patients, and will give no drug, perform no operation for a criminal purpose, even if solicited, far less suggested, that whatsoever you shall see or hear of the lives of your patients, which is not fitting to be spoken, you will keep inviolably secret. These things do you swear. Let each of you bow your head in a sign of acquiescence. Thank you. And now, if you will be true to this, your oath, may good repute be yours. The opposite, if you shall prove yourselves forsworn.
And next, Mr. President, it is my pleasure to introduce Mary O. Mundinger, Dean of the School of Nursing.
Mr. President, before you stand the candidates of the faculty of the School of Nursing, who are among the most treasured resources in healthcare today, and who have completed the requirements prescribed by that faculty for the degrees of Bachelor of Science, Master of Science, and Doctor of Nursing Science. I beg you, sir, to grant them these degrees, along with the rights and privileges thereto attached.
I am pleased, Mr. President, to introduce Alan G. Rosenfield, Dean of the School of Public Health.
Mr. President, before you stand there, should be to the left, the prevention-oriented, socially committed, and brilliant 2001 candidates of the faculty of the Mailman School of Public Health, who are dedicated to helping this nation fix our difficult and often flawed system of health care and to insist in global health problems, most notably the pandemic, the tragic AIDS pandemic. They have completed the requirements prescribed by the faculty for for the degrees of Master of Public Health, Master of Science, Doctor of Public Health. I ask you, sir, to grant them these degrees along with the rights, privileges, and responsibilities thereto attached.
And last, Mr. President, it's my pleasure to introduce Gillian Lint, Acting Dean of the Graduate School of Arts and Sciences.
Mr. President, before you stand the spirited, dynamic candidates of the faculty of the Graduate School of Arts and Sciences who have completed the rigorous requirements prescribed by that faculty for the degree of Master Arts and Master of Philosophy. Finally, in recognition that at commencement the last shall indeed be first, it is my special honor to present to you the indomitable intellectuals who have completed the daunting requirements for the highest degree and course, the Doctor of Philosophy and the Doctor of Musical Arts. We welcome them into the ancient, most honorable and universal community of scholars. I beg you, sir, to grant them these degrees, along with the rights, privileges, and hardships thereunto appertaining.
Will all candidates for degrees and course please rise for the conferring of degrees by the President?
The appropriate academic authorities have determined and have so reported to me, as you've heard, those students who have satisfactorily completed the course of study prescribed by the faculty under which they have been enrolled as candidates for degrees. In accordance with the authority vested in me as president of the university, I now admit each of you to the degree for which you have qualified, in token whereof you will subsequently receive your diploma. Congratulations to all of you.
The audience is requested to please rise and join in the singing of Stand Columbia and to remain standing until after the benediction is pronounced by Rabbi Alan Zelenetz.
Well, here you are. Can you believe it? After so many combined years of Cliff Notes, Coronas, and cramming all-nighters,
It all comes down to these last 2 minutes. I feel sort of like the ball in Times Square just about to drop on New Year's Eve. But indulge me briefly, if you will. President Rupp, alma mater, honored faculty and administration, esteemed guests, families, friends, but most of all, dear graduates. Once upon a time, so goes a Native American legend, Coyote the trickster decided to dance with the stars. That was his plan, though it served no real purpose. Coyote called to the heavens, and a blazing star descended. He grabbed hold, and the star whirled across the skies, but unprepared as he was for the star's heat, Coyote burned his limbs. Unprepared for the star's speed, Coyote fell crashing back to Earth. Yes, he had a plan, but he had no purpose. How different are you all, dear graduates, from that old trickster? You entered Columbia with thoughtful plan and deliberate purpose. And so you leave our university today impassioned and empowered indeed to dance with the stars. Here, your minds were tempered in the furnace of critical thought, and your character tested in the cauldron of cultural diversity. Now, your intellectual curiosity and your creative intensity burn with the brightest flame and throw off sparks akin to divinity. It is your destiny to light the future by that flame. And thus, as destiny's children all, it is your responsibility too, each in your own turn, each in your own unique way, to help nudge this world towards perfection. In Judaism, this ethic is called tikkun olam, a concept of universal import that urges you to join together as spiritual partners in the creative evolution of our planet and in the continued betterment of life for all the globe's peoples and creatures. It is in this vein that my dear friend, philosopher Maxine Green of Teachers College insists you must imagine better worlds in order to make the real world a better place. And so, dear graduates, let us send you off from Columbia with this closing blessing. May every measure of your energy and imagination carry you from Morningside Heights to great heights. And from there, as the poet William Butler Yeats once dreamed, may you pluck till time and times are done the silver apples of the moon, the golden apples of the sun. It's a beautiful day. Don't let it get away. God bless you, and congratulations.
Until the academic procession is passed, guests of the university and the graduates are requested to remain in their places. Thank you very much.